November 3rd, 2017.
This is Nerd Bourbon episode 22. I'm Seth Sturgill.
Wait, is it 22 or is it 21?
No, it's 22. Your show notes say 21.
Oh, okay. You
It's
fucking...
22.
For a second, I'm like, bro, you just fucked up twice?
Nah, dude. So what Todd's referring to... Nah, this is the fucking intro now. So, don't blame me, blame my cat, and I'll explain why. So, as you know, the viewers and the listeners don't know, but I have to completely unplug my Blue Yeti Pro every time we're done recording anything. Because if I don't, my cat likes to jump up and, like, fuck with it. And it's the one thing in this entire apartment that I don't want him to fuck with. Like, he fucks with everything. He's a cat, you know, whatever. But he has a special fascination with this microphone. And this microphone is like everything. So I cannot...
That's some real shit right there.
I cannot let him fuck with it, you know? So, like, between recording sessions, I have to manually unhook. And it's, you know, it's not as hard as I'm making it sound. But as a result, my computer, like, forgets that that it has a Blue Yeti plugged into it. Because, you know, back when it was hooked up all the time, it just sort of remembered that the Blue Yeti was on, and Audacity would automatically set itself to the Blue Yeti and everything. So we recorded an entire intro and did like 6 minutes of podcasting, in which I debuted an amazing new character called DJ Hipster Trash, and it was all recording off of my like built-in laptop audio. Luckily, I caught it before we got too far into it. Because, like, I was noticing that my waveform was looking weird on Audacity. I was like, what is up with this? And I was, like, silently freaking out as we were talking. And then finally I realized what it was that it was recording off of my internal microphone. So I do apologize. And then,
there was
like,
definitely some gold in them 6 minutes.
Hey, I'm going to still salvage that shit, you guys. In fact, tell you what. You're going to meet DJ Hipster Trash right here. Would you like to know how I've brewed my tea this evening, Todd?
God damn it.
I have taken some water that I harvested from Hurricane Harvey, and I am using it, and I've boiled it at 212 degrees Fahrenheit.
I hate you.
And I am brewing it into a nettle tea with some matcha that I got from the Miyazaki Prefecture in Japan.
Dude, I'm gonna be fucking real with you. You just made my eye is like twitching right now.
And it's steeped for 15 hours, kept at temperature with an open flame. And the hurricane water makes me feel like an Aquarius this evening. I have an Aquarius soul this evening, Todd. I feel like looking up the horoscope.
All right, so what we've learned today is we never should record this early in the morning because you are a loopy son of a bitch.
I didn't have a character this week, and I wanted to come up with somebody, and I enjoy the person I've come up with this week.
I don't like it. Like, that's funny because I was actually like thinking to myself, I wanted to do something. Like, I wanted to do some dumb shit. You went full dumb. I went a little.
I
dumb.
always go full dumb.
Yeah. That was good.
Anyway.
I enjoyed it.
Anyway. Alright, wasn't that hilarious, Todd? Didn't you love that endearing new character?
It's so good, so good. And before we continue, I didn't even do my sign-in. It's your boy, Hot Toddy Sturgill.
There
Let's
you go.
Continue.
There you go. So now let's continue. Yeah, that was my bad. That was fucking weird. Anyway. It's November 3rd, Todd. It's the beginning of a beautiful new month, and you know what that means. It's time to announce what this month's book club book is going to be. It is going to be Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, which we alluded to in the last episode, by Jack Thorne, J.K. Rowling, and John Tiffany. Are you ready for that level of bullshit, Todd?
Well, as I said in the original recording, no. I kind of know a little bit what's going on with this book. I know it's really dumb. For the most part. So
it does.
I'm looking forward to reading it for myself. So
yeah, it's going to be interesting for a few reasons. Like, it's script format, which is, for me anyway, a lot easier to read than like novel format. Like, because it's just, script format. It's basically purely dialogue. And which is, which can be a good or a bad thing for a story. So that's an interesting wrinkle to it. And, like the shit that's happening is technically canon, which is, could be a good or bad thing. So, I don't know. It's going to be nice to refresh myself on this and talk about it at the end of the month. That episode of Book Club is going live on the 24th. So we hope you read along with us. We hope you listen along. But what have we been up to this week, Todd?
Well, as we said before, like the main what we've been up to are going to be our topics. But I mean, for the most part, all I've really done since last week was I played a little bit of Fortnite with the dude that I actually called out on the last episode. so that was fun. We played a little bit of duos. We actually made it pretty far. I think we made it to I think our team placed I don't even remember. We were close though.
That's cool. Yeah, I still need to play that. I downloaded it, but I haven't played it yet because Mario.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I haven't really. It's funny because we knew going into this what our topics were going to be this week, and we knew that was going to be the bulk of our kind of what we've been doing shit as well. So it's going to be kind of a weird week. We're not going to really spend too much time on this segment today because I've been playing some Stardew Valley here and there and stuff like that, but I already talked about Stardew Valley in depth last week, so I'm not going to spend any time on that. What we are going to do is we're going to move on to the weekly Destiny update. Tell the fine folks at home what we've been doing in Destiny this week, Todd.
We finally beat that godforsaken raid.
Yes, we finally have earned our platinums.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, that's the main thing. We got our fucking platinums. We're done.
Honestly, if it weren't for that, if there was not a trophy associated with the raid, because as I've said ad nauseum at this point, the raid is not worth doing really in this game.
Oh, it's
and
not.
If it were not for that trophy, I would not have done it at all. But we've earned our platinums, Todd. We fought and we won. So
I kind of want to say one thing I do want to say about the raid is it's not hard. It just requires so much. It is a very coordination based raid, and if you're playing with people where their heads are not fully into the game, oh man, it's terrible.
Some real shit. Yeah, it's some real shit. Yeah, there's a moment and I'm not trying to. This is not going to be like the shit talk our raid group hour.
No,
but
not at all.
But there was there's definitely a moment where I think at one point you had to be like, everybody shut the fuck up.
Oh, bro, we were sitting there in the gauntlet, and it's just everybody. So I was noticing, dude, nobody's hearing my call outs because everybody's fucking talking. I'm like, okay, fuck this shit. When we're in the gauntlet, when we're doing the running, please shut the fuck up. And I think one of our mutual Scotty, if you're listening, how you doing? Scotty was like, oh, he's not saying it to be a dick, and I'm like, I am a little bit.
Yeah, no, we and it's so funny because otherwise that raid was not too terrible. We one-tried the dogs, we two-tried the baths, and
the dogs were so fucking sloppy though.
Oh, it was super sloppy, but we still did it.
Yeah.
We and then Callus it took us a while to get Callus, and we almost didn't get Callus. We'll talk about that in a second. But but the gauntlet, dude, the gauntlet to me is maybe the easiest part.
Yeah, honestly, it is definitely the easiest part. All it really is just, hey, coordinate what the fuck you need to do. So the only part that everybody fucks up on is the shit at the end where everybody's running through the obstacle course.
Oh, it wasn't just that, because we had people that weren't shooting their arrows and shit. We had people that weren't killing their scions. I mean,
oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember that. I was actually running, and I'm sitting there waiting at waiting for the field to go up so I can jump through the hole. I'm just looking. I see a scion. I'm like, all right, I guess this shit's over.
Yeah, because it's for me. I guess baths is technically easier in my mind than gauntlet, but it's baths, gauntlets, dogs for me, because and none of it is especially hard if everybody is, like you said, coordinated and on the same page. It's really not that difficult of a raid. It's just very mechanical, and it leaves very little room for error. So if people are sitting there chattering, and if people aren't on the same page and they don't have a proper understanding of the mechanics, you're gonna fail. And
I have no problem with wanting to have fun during a raid. That's whatever. Yeah. Have some fun, but know when to nut up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you kind of need to know when it's serious time. You know,
Yeah.
like there are times when you just need to like shut up and just get it done, because ultimately we spent I think it took us about 6 hours to do this raid clear from start to finish, and that includes getting chests and stuff like that. So the actual, definitely. I would say, it was actually probably about 5 hours for the raid itself.
And like honestly, it should have been like 2 hours.
Well, 3 hours of it was spent on the gauntlet.
That's like, the shit that depresses me. Honestly, if people were seeing like our messages on Facebook.
yeah, I'm sitting there venting. No, if we had done the gauntlet, you know, in a few tries like we did the rest of it, that would have been a 2-hour raid run, and I would have been happy with that. But you want to talk about what happened when we finally took down Callus?
Holy shit! I'm gonna be real. I think everybody at this point, I'm just gonna say this. Everybody was ready to give up because we almost did not get this. Like, everybody was basically dead. There was 2 dudes left.
Yeah, so what ended up happening was, so you get him to his final, like, phase, and he, you know, when you're jumping from platform to platform, he eventually starts to burn the platforms. And I was telling people to go ahead and jump when he burns them. Either Scotty or the other Warlock or whoever was like, no, my healing rift will heal us through it, and it wasn't.
I didn't heal shit, dude. I died, like, I died quick.
Yeah, I died quick too, and like so, you know, like we were on the second to last platform, and he burns the platform, and he's like, no, everybody stay here, don't move yet, blah blah blah. That's not a team wipe move, and I'm like, it's not a team wipe move, but it might as well be, and sure enough, pretty much everybody gets burned and killed because the healing rift did not out heal the damage. So 4 of our 6 are dead on the ground. Fucking on the platform burning alive, and then 2 of them hopped off early enough, and one of them died from residual burn damage, and we were all dead, and we were watching. He was in his sort of final phase where he's gonna do a team wipe if you don't do enough just raw damage to him.
Yeah.
And he's in this final phase and everything, and we're like, fuck, there's no way we're gonna get this. And thank God Jacob was still alive. He didn't take any residual burn damage, and he's sitting there just wailing on him with Merciless, and he ended up doing enough damage to win the fight. So it was like a huge combination of like luck and like, yeah, I think everybody there was ready to give up if Jacob died at that point, but he didn't.
I'm gonna be real. I was about to throw my controller.
Because it was such a clean run up until that point, and there was a lot of frustration. Like, I'm gonna be real. My one, you know, I've gotten over how mechanical it is. I've come to accept that, and I've even come to like that about the raid. I really like how mechanical the raid is. And, you know, if I could get into a consistent raid group every week, I might consider running it just to do it, because it's just fun, you know? It's fun when everybody knows what they're doing, and it's fun to, like, understand the mechanics and pull them off and get a one try on the dogs, you know? Like, that's fun. However, you know, like, the big issue I was having, especially with the Callus fight, the ammo drops, dude. They were so bad.
Shit.
The ammo drops are so bad in that fight, and I can't believe that hasn't been fixed. Because there were like 2 or 3 times when we were doing that where I was literally out of ammo. I literally had 0 ammo.
The biggest, yeah, you were telling, I had the same issue, like, especially with, like, it was mainly the kinetic. The kinetic was weak, dude.
I was having issues with my kinetic and energy ammo.
Yeah.
The only ammo that was really dropping for me was heavy.
I'll be real, power ammo is really not that useful in the Callus fight.
No, not really. I mean, the only thing I was really using it for was for ad clear between phases. Yeah. And that's fine and everything, but like, yeah, like, it's sitting there. I have no fucking ammo. I'm about to do the fucking, like, the other dimension shit with nothing, and I would just have to get lucky because sometimes those scions would drop some ammo and I would kind of like slide into it, you know. Oh my god. That is by far the most frustrating part of the raid to me so far, because, like, for me, that has nothing to do with me as a player. That is all just the game fucking me.
Yeah.
And that's the shit that I don't like.
The easiest fix would just be hashtag bring back ammo synths. But
yeah, like I like the ammo synths from D1. Like, what happened to those? But anyway, I'm not gonna sit there and rant about that shit.
I mean, shit, we can honestly rant about that raid for a while, but let's continue.
Let's move on though. No Festival of the Lost confirmed. I was saying like shit, when are they gonna do this? They're just not. There's not gonna be Festival of the Lost this year, which honestly bums me out. In a big bad way, but they're focusing on the dawning.
I kind of realized why this happened is like because honestly they were doing the launch of the PC. Yeah, I think that's the main reason why we didn't get Festival of the Lost.
I think that's probably true. I think that's probably true. If it weren't for the PC launch happening, at the end of October, I think we would still be getting Festival of the Lost. So they're focusing on the dawning, which I guess is happening by the end of the year. Probably around the same time the expansion comes out, but they don't want to say that yet. I imagine they're going to be announcing that expansion pretty soon. Maybe at Paris Games Week tomorrow. I don't know.
Maybe.
That'd be interesting. Shit, we might have to watch that live stream together, actually. It's going to be tomorrow morning at this point.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's a good segue, though, to talk about the PC players getting banned and butthurt. When the game is still so fresh, didn't they ban?
I think a lot of it has been overturned for the most part.
It has, because a lot of people were butthurt. Like, what are we getting banned for? And they overturned the sort of bullshit cases, But then there's a lot of people who are like, "What do you mean I can't use third party like shit with Destiny?" Like getting all butthurt about that. So I'm like, well, what did you expect, dude? Like, you can never use shit like that. It's PC, man. Like. They don't let you get away with that shit, especially not Destiny. It's the biggest shooter on the market. It's probably the biggest game of the year. You're not going to be able to do that shit with Destiny. Get over it. But I did want to drop real quick too. They before we move on to our topics, before we end the Destiny update, they announced some changes coming to Destiny 2. I'm going to read this. Real quick.
I actually do not know any of this.
Oh, you don't? Okay. Well, so this will be some news for you. They posted this on during the Bungie weekly update last week. It says, right now at Bungie, we've passed the development torch from the people that made Destiny 2 to the people who will sustain
is this the bullshit where they passed it to the live team?
Yeah. So
never mind. I do know about this. Okay.
Yeah, so they've passed, they've kind of passed the torch on to the live team, and the live team is obviously the ones who are sustaining it. And the live team has detailed some of the things that they're working on for the very near future, I think kind of by the end of the year. And in fact, Christopher Barrett, who I guess was game director of House of Wolves and Rise of Iron, is now kind of the lead of sustaining Destiny 2, which is cool. And he's got details here after the jump for like kind of the changes they're bringing, and I'm just going to read through them real quick. I thought this would be a good place to do that here in our Destiny update, because we're probably not going to have that many more Destiny updates for a while. So, because honestly, we're still going to be playing every week. We're still going to be streaming the weekly reset activities and stuff like that. But Todd and I have kind of hit the content ceiling at this point. So
yep.
We're not really going to be doing Destiny updates from now on, because we aren't doing the raid anymore. We aren't, we're pretty much good. We pretty much just, Destiny for us now is just kind of jump on once a week and do the weekly activities and jump off and do other shit. So
yep, it's that sweet appointment gaming.
Yeah, which is fine. I'm fine with that. Like, I'm fine with Destiny being that. You know what I mean? Because it was the main game I played for like over a month, and I think that's fine. So I'm fine with it being where it is now. So with that being said, don't expect a whole lot of Destiny updates until, like I said, they're probably going to have the big rumor is that the expansion is going to come out in December. So that's when you're going to start to hear us talk about Destiny a whole lot more. But with no further preamble, he says that new systems and rewards to give our most engaged players additional optional pursuits, which is very vague. A lot of this is pretty vague, but this is cool. Better incentives for players who complete challenging prestige activities. So I'm wondering what that means. Does that mean he's going to give like some, because I was wondering after we did the Prestige Nightfall last week, I was like, do we get double XP? And it's like, no, you just get some weird Halo shit around your head.
Yeah, well, fucking stupid.
I think you actually turned it off, didn't you?
I did. I was like, really? This thing looks fucking dumb. It doesn't even look good. It doesn't even look like as good as the bullshit you got from Destiny 1.
Yeah, this is intriguing. Better rewards and replay value for strikes, adventures, and lost sectors. So, I'm hoping that means what you and I have been talking about since the game launched. I want some more strike exclusive gear. That'd be so
always
nice.
And forever. Yep.
Private matches for the competitive community, which is targeting early 2018, which is fine. It's a little surprising the game didn't launch with that, but whatever. I would settle for just being able to pick the fucking game mode that I'm playing in Crucible. Crucible tuning, like adjusted supremacy scoring and better spawning rules. Better incentives for completing Crucible matches and penalties for quitting competitive games. Continued improvements to Iron Banner and faction rallies, including uniqueness of rewards. Now, this is a good one because this is something you were bitching about with Iron Banner, like the fact that you were not getting the unique rewards.
This is my deal. Like, you always got a Iron Banner reward, but you also got some shitty thing that you can get from any other fucking faction. That I'm like, I don't want that.
And a bunch of duplicates and stuff like that. Yeah. So
I wanted pure Iron Banner. That's all I wanted.
Yeah, so it sounds like that loot pool is going to be skewed more towards uniqueness for the unique rewards special to that event, which is good. Changes to make the mod economy more interesting and impactful. So hopefully
that intrigues me. I'm wondering what they're going to do with that.
Yeah, hopefully it's not going to cost an arm and a fucking leg to get some mods. Oh, you already know. I would love to be able to, for me, I would love to be able to have some sort of stake in like what mod I'm going to get. I don't like that it's a random roll, Like,
yeah, that's some real shit.
This is a good one. Ongoing improvements to exotics, including adjustments to reduce instances of duplication. So, you're telling me I'm not going to get 5 million stompies? I'm good with that. Maybe I'll actually get my Nighthawk one day.
There you go.
This is a good one here. New ways to spend surplus currency and materials. Looking at you, legendary shards.
That's some real shit.
I mean, we're in that group of people who have like 1,000+ legendary shards just chilling at all times.
I mean, there's people that play way more and they got like even more, but it's like shit. If you got over 1,000, what the fuck?
There are people who have like tens of thousands of legendary shards, and there's just literally nothing to do with them. I can't even spend them at Zur because Zur doesn't have anything I care about. So, legendary, that's a problem. That needs to get fixed. Like, there needs to be something to spend legendary shards on.
I saw one of the funniest things. I was on the Destiny Reddit, and somebody's like, I heard some of the funniest dialogue from Zur. It's like, I don't remember exactly why I came here, or what my original purpose was, or some shit. And the dude's like, heavy synth.
Yeah, that's some real shit. Even if they brought ammo synthesis back, and that was the only way to get it, I'd be cool with that. You know what I mean?
Shit, I'd be fine with it. I'd stock the fuck up.
Yeah. And then the last one here is, and I've been talking about this since Destiny 1 days, an emote interface that allows players to equip salty, spicy ramen, 6-shooter, and flip out all at the same time. So, basically an emote wheel.
Yeah, that honestly should have been a thing from the moment they actually had emotes.
Yeah. I mean, honestly. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about to sort of close out the Destiny update for the near future. I'm not saying that we're never going to have one. If something interesting happens that we want to talk about, that's fine. But I mean, I don't foresee that happening. We don't really have, we've like I said, we've hit the content ceiling until the new expansion comes out, and I'm cool with that. So we will see you when the Destiny update returns. All right, so with all of that out of the way, do you want to start with your topic this week? You want me to start with mine or what?
We'll end with your fuckboy topic.
All right, go ahead.
So, what I've been doing basically is I've been playing the shit out of Assassin's Creed Origins. So I made the decision to, instead of I'm still going to play Super Mario Odyssey. I made the decision that I was going to play Assassin's Creed first and then play Super Mario Odyssey. I think you're basically doing the opposite.
Yeah, pretty much. Now I was never going to get Origins on day one. When it was first announced, I was like, oh man, this looks so good. And I can't wait to play Assassin's Creed Origins. But I've said this before and I'll say it again. I know I've said this on this podcast before. Titanfall 2 taught me, don't buy most games on day one. You know what I mean? So my plan is, I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to find that in like the $40 range for Black Friday, and I have some GameStop, coupons saved up. So I'm hoping I can get it for like real cheap around Black Friday, and I'm totally going to be playing that game. But yeah, I passed on it for now.
Yeah, I mean, I had no issue paying the $50. Looking at you, Amazon Prime. Love you. Get
that sweet Prime discount.
But so Assassin's Creed Origins, man. I've been basically talking about it, like, when we're not recording. Like, I love the game. The game is fantastic. Like, my buddy Ronald asked me, and you also wanted to ask me, like, where I ranked it so far.
Mm-hmm.
Easily my favorite Assassin's Creed game. Easily.
Now,
like,
when you were telling me this earlier, you were basing it on just the improvements that they've made to the combat.
Is that honestly,
that's the big deal for you?
Yes and no. There is it does a lot of other things as well. Like, the combat is A1. That shit is fantastic. But also, you look at it, a lot of that like annoying like side quest shit is gone from this game.
Like what's an example of some annoying side quest shit in past games?
Like those stupid, like, what was it, like the escort shit? There's a lot of like escort ones you had. There's like those really pain in the ass ones.
Have they gotten rid of escort, the fucking like eavesdropping missions?
Bro, I haven't done one. I've played like 15 hours.
Oh,
15
God
plus
bless.
hours.
God fucking bless.
Because, like, honestly, everything. So that's another thing. I put like close to near 20 hours in this game, and I'm like, legit. I've gotten 2 trophies for the main quest: the prologue and the first main mission.
Yeah, you told me you're like almost at level cap.
Yeah, I'm like fucking like halfway to level cap already. I'm like at like 23 currently right now.
Yeah,
and I'm actually, again, I'm just exploring the world, doing like the side quests, finding the treasures, doing a couple of the papyrus puzzles. I've been just doing a lot of the side shit. Like, I've been playing this game like how you normally play these games.
Yeah, which is surprising. You don't normally go for completionist stuff.
I'm not like I doubt I'm gonna do 100%, but I am gonna do a majority of it. You know what I mean?
Because typically you're critical path Todd. Go for that critical path.
Yeah. I usually just go, all right, main mission. But if I come across you, I might do you. Because there is a couple of these, like, I was kind of thinking to myself, it almost has like this bit of like a Far Cry ification of Assassin's Creed. Because there's like, I don't remember if there were like bandit outposts and stuff like that. So that's the thing.
I don't
now.
think
You
so.
actually have like these outposts where they're like, there's like objectives to do. There's like a captain that you need to kill, and then there's like a treasure that you need to find that completes the location, right?
Yeah.
And you can usually say like how big it is. It's like you can see if it's going to be like a fort, an outpost, or a garrison. A garrison has 3 arrows in the icon. The outpost has 2, and then a regular like bandit camp or like regular camp has 1. And the garrisons, like the full blown garrisons, you need to kill like 3 dudes. They're all like higher, like decent, like higher level usually, unless you're like in a low level area.
Okay, so now that you've said that, they actually have done this in the past.
Have they? I don't, when?
Assassin's Creed 4 had this, where
damn.
on the open sea there were these forts that you had to like first break down with your ship.
Oh,
and then you had to
that's right.
Yeah. And this is actually done by the director, I believe, of Assassin's Creed 4. He basically immediately went on to Origins. So that makes sense.
He's doing the Lord's work. Because again, he took, honestly, from the most part, he kind of took what he did with, that game. And he's like, honestly, just made fucking improvements.
There's so many things about this game that has me sold on this game. And I'm absolutely going to play it. Like, don't get it twisted. If this game did not come out on the same day as Mario Odyssey, I would have bought it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the fact that it came out on the same day of Mario Odyssey really fucked it. But it's totally going to be like... I can see myself spending the month of December with this game.
I think it's honestly going to end up being on my top 10.
Yeah, that's going to be some weird shit because my top 10 is already so like solid. I can't imagine taking anything off. I'm like, but fuck, what if I really like Assassin's Creed?
Dude, it's super good. Like, I mean, like again, I haven't really put much time into the actual story, but like what I've played, it's serviceable. You know what I mean? It's
But
Assassin's Creed is like, I think me and you kind of like Assassin's Creed is like with the story nowadays.
yeah,
So,
you were talking. We were actually. I think this was captured on one of our live streams, but we were talking about Assassin's Creed Origins, and you were like, "I just want to know what's going on with the modern day shit." And I was like, "Why? Who gives a fuck?" I was like, "Who? You know, like." And I was talking to you just earlier today. I was telling you, like, Ubisoft doesn't care about that shit, and it's clear. And you know, is it in Origins from what you've told me? Yes,
it is. Yeah, it definitely is. And it's not. And it's they've strayed away from that shit that they were doing for the last couple games, where it's like you're like in first person in like the Abstergo offices, basically.
yeah.
So you're actually you are playing a character.
You are a
actually.
character, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Which is fine. Like look, the modern day stuff is an important part of like Assassin's Creed. Like, unfortunately, it's like because it is ultimately a sci-fi kind of universe, and that's fine. But like, it needs to be paid either the respect that it should have as a part of the narrative, or it should not be done at all. Because I was totally after Assassin's Creed 3, I was like, okay, so when is it going to be a full-on modern day game? You know what I mean?
I don't think we're never, basically.
No, it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? History is too rich, and they're too concerned with that, and that's fine too. But you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like, they both need to be paid equal measures of respect, and
Definitely.
And I think Ubisoft hasn't paid. Ironically, since the first game, I don't think Ubisoft has really paid it equal measures of respect. I think Assassin's Creed 1 and 2, kind of like amped up the modern day stuff.
Yeah.
In a good way.
I think those are the games that actually handled the modern day the best.
But like, people bitched about it. You know what I mean? So like, it's frustrating. Assassin's Creed is in a frustrating place, but it sounds like Origins sort of begins to right the ship by
Hey, again, like just improvements alone. Like, you got like you were like, this is something you really love. When I told you, is like the fact that you can virtually climb at everything.
Well, when I found out about that, when it was right after E3, they did some like post E3 streams where they revealed that, and I was like, oh yes.
Like, dude, there's been nothing that I've found that I could not climb.
I'm so ready for the Breath of the Wildification of every open world game.
You know what? I was sitting there like on top of this building. I was on top of like a synchronization point looking around the world, and I'm just like, everything that I see, I can go to. And I can probably climb it.
Yeah, that's beautiful, because that's when like playing Horizon, I was like, oh, I can't climb these mountains. This is bullshit. I'm telling you right now, Horizon 2 is going to have some climbing something.
Oh, dude,
like,
definitely.
I'm telling you that is going to happen. Like, Breath of the Wild came out and changed everything for open world games, where after I beat Breath of the Wild, I was just like, I don't want to play another open world game where I can't climb everything. That mechanic is such a brilliant piece of design. Such a brilliant, like Breath of the Wild came out and just effortlessly was like, hey, you know how we've been handling open world design? I'm here to shake that up. And that's what makes that game so amazing. And I'm just so...
Yeah, that's some real shit.
I'm so glad that games are already starting to steal from it. It's about time. That alone sold me on the game.
Yeah, it's set in, the game's set in Egypt. It's obviously beautiful. You got like you got the desert, but you also got like this oasis ass looking shit. You got Alexandria, where honestly I've spent most of my time.
Yeah. I mean,
fantastic.
You got the check marks of a good Assassin's Creed game. You got, good setting, check. Good gameplay, check. It sounds like they've really made some combat improvements and
combat improvement is an understatement.
Yeah, because combat in the past was like just kind of wait your turn to counter.
Yep. And there is much more to the combat now. It's like a standard. It's more of a standard like RPG sort of combat. Like, you have like a strong attack, like a quick attack. There's like these like also like if you go into the ability trees, there's like more of these combos you can do and all that stuff like that. But it's a lot of like shit you can parry motherfuckers.
Well, it sounds like
awesome.
It sounds like the game is an RPG in more ways than just its combat. I mean, the games had the Assassin's Creed games have had like skill trees and stuff before, I believe. but I don't think they've ever had like loot and like stat-based gear like that.
Oh, dude, yeah, that stuff's great. Like it's the whole loot system is pretty fun to me. Shit, I just before we started recording this, I told you I just got the sword that I'm gonna take to my grave in this game.
So I mean, it's cool, you know.
Yeah, it's good shit, dude. It's all good shit.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it. Like I said, there were so many things about this game that sold itself to me before it ever came out. Just like from, you know, because if Origins is say Origins is the best Assassin's Creed game, I would have to say,
so far to me it is.
For me, my current favorite is 4. You know what I mean? So like the fact that
that's the thing. 4 was technically my favorite before Origins.
Exactly. So that gives me hope because I'm like, because the thing that I love so much about 4 is that finally, I don't think, you know, the series mantra, right? What's the Assassin's Creed motto?
Oh shit! Don't make me say it.
That literally the Assassin's Creed is nothing is true, everything is permitted.
There you go.
Right. So in Assassin's Creed 4, I finally felt like the gameplay gave me some options in a way that the series hadn't before. And I did a write-up about this on my blog where I was like, everything is finally permitted in Assassin's Creed 4. And so if you take the game director of that game and he makes another one where he expands upon that and makes it like a legit kind of open world RPG, I'm totally on board. And I love that Ubisoft finally took a year off of Assassin's Creed because now it's given me time to miss it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel it, dude.
I can't wait. I honestly can't wait. And it sounds like there's some interesting narrative stuff. Like I've heard a lot of people say that it's the series' best story as well.
So again, from what I've seen, I'm looking forward to getting more into the story, but it's just like shit. I love exploring too much.
Yeah, no, I can't wait. I really can't wait to lose myself in that game. Like I said, when I pick that game up, it's going to like become my main game, and I just see myself losing the following month in it. Do you have anything else you wanted to say before we wrap that up?
I think it's time to move on to the 10-year-old.
Wahoo! Yeah, no, for me it was all about Super Mario Odyssey, man. Super Mario Odyssey is an amazing game. God, I don't even know where to start. God, where do I start? Do I start by let me start by saying this. The game has done some amazing things, but it is not the whole time I'm playing this, I'm comparing it to Breath of the Wild in my mind, right? Because it has some big shoes to fill. I mean, the Nintendo Switch is like 8 months old at this point, and Nintendo has released 2 of the highest reviewed games of all time on it, between Breath of the Wild and now Super Mario Odyssey. I mean, these games are just lauded, right? The whole time I'm playing it, I think I sort of came into it expecting it to be... I came into Mario Odyssey expecting it to be kind of the reinvention for Mario that Breath of the Wild was for Zelda. And it isn't. It isn't a reinvention, but it is like my first thoughts as I was turning on the game, and when I first sort of had control of Mario, I just couldn't help but smile. You know what I mean? Because like it's not a reinvention of Mario, but it is a sequel to Super Mario 64. You know what I mean? And like that's enough. like Mario doesn't really need to be reinvented yet because it had been so long since we've gotten a Mario game like this. Like where there are several sprawling kind of open kingdoms that you know, Galaxy and 3D World and stuff. These are 3D Mario games, and you know, Mario Galaxy, these are some of the best games ever made. I put Super Mario Galaxy among my favorite games of all time. But it was not quite like this. Like Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine, they do sort of occupy their own subgenre in 3D Mario games. And that is the genre that Super Mario Odyssey belongs to. And that is why it feels fresh. Not because it's a reinvention. It isn't a reinvention. But it does harken back to the Mario design that we haven't experienced in a long time. And the really cool thing that this game does, so the central mechanic for the 2 people on this planet that don't know, is that Mario can throw his hat Cappy and possess or capture, as Nintendo says, capture, the bulk of his enemies. There are very few things in this game that you cannot capture.
Can I say this right now? I kind of wish Nintendo just went full creep mode and he's possessing him. He's possessing them. All right?
He is possessing. I mean, Cappy literally, like, he looks like a ghost. You know what I mean? I think the only reason they didn't go full on with that is because, the American audiences would get creeped out by that. The pussification of America does not allow for that, Todd.
Shh. Don't say that on the show.
I don't give a fuck. Come at me. Yeah. So that's kind of the central mechanic. Is he captures or possesses these enemies, and every single one of them controls different and controls uniquely and has real application in the game world. And like it really encourages you. Like you want to go around throwing your hat at shit and possessing shit just to see how it feels to do it. Like everything feels so strange and unique and like experimental. Like I posted. Did you see the video I posted to Facebook today?
I saw the post. I didn't actually watch it.
Oh man, I love that the Switch has video capture now. By the way, it's such a cool addition. I love that I can post dumb shit like this. So. This is a way in which Mario Odyssey is like Breath of the Wild. It is so open and room for the players. It has at least so much room for the players' experimentation. So I was high up, and I looked down and I saw that there was like a kind of warp pipe that I couldn't quite reach. I knew there was another way to get to it.
Oh wait, is it the thing where is it like your sacrifice wasn't in vain?
Yes.
Yeah, I did see that. That was funny.
Yeah, so what it was I saw that whole section, that little like obstacle course kind of section, but I didn't know how to get down there properly. I know there was a way to get down there. I just couldn't find it. So I was high up and there was like this kind of flying guy who's popped up in other worlds. And I possessed him or captured him. I got to remember to say captured.
Just say possessed.
Nintendo will be breathing down my throat, Todd. It's captured. It's captured.
It's possessed.
No. Anyway, so I captured him and I flew down to the area where I was going to go, and not being able to make the turn sharply enough to land on solid ground, I jumped out of his body and let him fall to his death while I kind of darted over to the solid ground and got my moon. And it was so sad because he's always just like, I love flying, and then even after I jumped out of him, he was still like, he's falling to his death, and he's like, I love flying, and the game made an audio cue that was like, boo, as he was falling down.
Oh shit!
And I felt so sad, like I had to record that and post it. I was like, oh no, I killed this man for a power moon. Was it worth it? And anyway, the jank shit that you can pull off in that game, like I can't. And the game allows for that. The game doesn't care that you do that, just like Breath of the Wild. I mean, you've seen some of the crazy shit people can do with Breath of the Wild.
I've done some of the crazy shit.
Yeah, like there are definitely some things where I was like, okay, this was definitely not the way that I was supposed to solve this shrine, but it's amazing that I can solve the shrine this way.
Mm-hmm.
Like just, I remember when Breath of the Wild came out and everybody was like, no, don't fuck with the motion controls. Just turn that shit upside down so it's flat and roll it over that way. That one shrine puzzle. It's amazing that these games allow you to do that. That's such a cool, like, I'm so glad Nintendo has gone in that direction, because that is not the way Nintendo of old was. You know what I mean? So it's nice that the game allows for that sort of level of freedom, and that is kind of fully realized in Mario's movement in this game. That is the biggest, I think, gameplay change, is his pure movement, his range of movement. Like, you can go so fast as Mario in this game, be it because he has a roll now that you can keep momentum up with and go fast that way. But he also has so many different movement and combat variations, thanks to Cappy. Like, the pure amount of shit you can do with Cappy is incredible in this game. I cannot wait to watch speedruns, because in the same way that, like, Flood in Mario Sunshine makes movement fun in Mario Sunshine, like Sunshine runs are my favorite Mario runs to watch because of how unique Flood is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the sheer like crazy shit you can do with Flood. Cappy's the same way. Cappy is gonna allow for like insane speed game. Like it's gonna be nuts, and I can't wait to see it because Cappy just has such a versatile move set. You know, he gives Mario such a versatile set of moves to just get around, and I mean, there's so much good about this game, right? It's like it just from the art to the music. I mean, God, the music in this game is incredible. Like when I first loaded up the game in the first the Cascade Kingdom, oh my God, like the Cascade Kingdom theme is right up there with like my favorite Mario tracks of all time. It's so fucking good. And then like the theme about like the wedding between Bowser and Peach and how like the enemies are called the Broodals, which is like a brood of rabbits that are wedding planners for Bowser's fucked up kidnapping wedding. Oh, it's so good, dude. It's so fucking good. And all the costumes that Mario can wear, like the sheer amount of power moons that are, I mean, I feel like I'm just spitballing shit, and I am, because really it's impossible to have collected thoughts about Mario Odyssey. I can't just calmly sit here and read from a list of things I love about it. I have to gush. It's funny. I have this memory that I'll never forget. My buddy Provost, who, I've known for years, and before we became really close, he used to just kind of be a GameStop customer, and when I worked there in management, and he would come in, and before we got really close and everything, we kind of bonded over our mutual love of Nintendo, because he loves Nintendo just as much as I do. And I remember when Super Mario Galaxy 2 came out. This is 2010 or 11, I think. I think 10. I think Mario Galaxy 2 came out in 2010. Anyway, he comes in, he picks up his copy, and I was stuck at work that day. I was upset about it because I had requested that day off because I wanted to just play Mario Galaxy 2 all day. And whoever was going to cover for me like called out. Whatever the case may be, I had to open that morning. I had to work that day. And Provost was there, like, not long after we opened, and picked up his copy. And he came back a few hours later. I'll never forget this. He came back a few hours later, and I just kind of had this puzzled look. I was like shocked to see him walk through the door again. I was like, "Hi, like welcome back. Like, what are you doing here? Why aren't you at home playing Mario Galaxy?" And he was like, he looks at me and he kind of sighs. He's like, "I'm not good enough for that game." He was like, "I have not done enough good in this world to deserve that game." He's like, "I would have to go into a burning tree and rescue an orphan kitten right now to earn that game's love, to earn a game as good as Mario Galaxy 2. And like that's sort of the prevailing theme that I always feel when I play a new 3D Mario game, because it is so, they're polished to such a sheen, and they're so joyful. Like just the pure joy and nostalgia found in a 3D Mario game is almost unparalleled. Like, there's basically nothing that can top Breath of the Wild for me this year, but this gets damn close, Like, this almost reaches Breath of the Wild heights of just, like, I cannot stop smiling when I play it. Like, it's so good. And I'm sure I'm going to be talking about Mario Odyssey, from here on out, but those are just my base. I would say I probably put about the same amount of time in Mario Odyssey as you have into Assassin's Creed. I
think we were talking about that. You probably put about like 15 hours. Which
yeah,
is like
I have no good way. I have no good way of checking that. Like the Switch, I think, makes you wait like 7 days or something like that before you can see your actual playtime. But no, I've spent a lot of time in the game, and I've gotten about 200 of the 800 plus moons, almost 900 moons. So I imagine by that logic, I'm probably going to get a solid 50 to 60 hours out of my playthrough, because I am going to 100% the game.
Honestly, I feel like I might end up getting like close to that with like fucking Origins. Yeah,
which is a good problem to have.
I got no problem with that. Keep me busy. Shit.
Yeah, exactly. And I love the dearth of content. So like, some kingdoms are better than others, and some kingdoms are bigger than others, and some kingdoms have more moons to gather than others. But what is true about all of them is it's always, and this is sort of the mantra of Super Mario Odyssey. It's always fun. It's always surprising. That's the thing. Every time I turn on Mario Odyssey, something surprises and delights me. That is the Super Mario Odyssey way, is surprising and delighting its player. Even just earlier, I turned it on for 2 seconds earlier tonight before I went to bed. And I turned it on and I was jumping around like my fiance Anastasia and we were listening to, she noticed that the feet sound different between some of the costumes, like the foot stomping sounds.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she has a weird way of picking out little things like that. There's a little attention to detail things. So I was going and trying on different costumes and just running around and jumping around to seeing how the feet sounded different. So when you're wearing a costume that has bare Mario feet, it sounds like bare feet. There's kind of like a diver suit where he's wearing flippers, and those have a unique sound, which I never even cared to notice, but she did, So I'm sitting there and I'm kind of running around and jumping around with all these different costumes to see the differing feet noises that Nintendo spent. This is something Nintendo's always been so great at, is that level of detail, just they put in stupid details that nobody's going to notice, but you know what? My fiance noticed, and I spent a solid 5 minutes just running around. And as I'm running around and jumping, I accidentally jumped on this globe that is on the front of the Odyssey, and it's sort of how you interact with the Odyssey and set sail and everything. And I jumped on it, and the globe started to spin, and it started to play what I'm pretty sure, I haven't actually gone back and listened, but I'm almost positive it is the song that plays during the Rosalina storybook sections in Super Mario Galaxy. And I started to fucking cry. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. This game has made me come to near tears twice now, just in the 15 or so hours that I've spent with it, because there's such amazing the amazing Easter eggs and the surprises that are in this game. I was telling you, I was giving you a piece of advice. I was like, there could literally be a moon around any corner and literally underneath any rock, and the game encourages you to experiment. And if there is something that you can do, you should do it. And in fact, the game is probably going to reward you for doing it in some way. There's this thing that's been going on around Reddit. There's this section in the Sand Kingdom where, by all accounts, it should be impossible to get up there, right? But if you're skilled enough, and if you know the movement enough, and if you just perfectly nail the sequence of moves that is really hard to do, there's no way I could do it, and you manage to get up to this spot, there's a stack of coins there, because Nintendo was like, people should not be able to get up here, but people are gonna figure out a way to get up here, and fuck it, here's a reward.
I love that.
I love that. I love shit like that, and this game is filled with shit like that. There are places where I'm running around. It's just like Breath of the Wild. I'm running around and I'm just man, I know I shouldn't be able to get there. Let me try it. And I'm either going to die and the penalty for death is really small, or I'm going to get there and there's probably going to be something there, and there might even be a moon there. You know what I mean? Anyway, That's a bunch of jumbled thoughts about Super Mario Odyssey. I'm sorry it wasn't more concise. But if I have some more collected thoughts about it, because that's kind of the ongoing podcasting curse, is that after you've recorded a podcast, you're like, oh shit, that's what I should have said. You know what I mean? You think
that's some real shit right there.
You think of a million things you should have said. But if I come up with any more things about Mario Odyssey, and I might hit back after I beat it, I will report back. But those are my jumbled thoughts on Mario Odyssey so far. I'm really, really, really enjoying it. I'm looking forward to when you play it.
Oh, dude, I'm definitely and I don't even have to buy it.
Yeah, that's true. Didn't your dad get it?
Yes, he did, and it was the first time I've seen that man play a game in God knows how long.
That's a beautiful thing, man. You know what I mean?
Dude, and honestly, you almost brought a tear to my eye.
It's that's the power that Mario has. That is the power that Mario has. That absolutely is. It feels like when I'm playing it, I feel like I'm a fucking 9 or 10-year-old kid sitting there playing Nintendo 64, playing Mario 64. Like I feel like that when I'm playing Mario Odyssey, and it's really really good. And you know that is a power that only Nintendo possesses. So anyway,
turn everyone into a 10-year-old.
Everybody should be a 10-year-old. Join us. Anyway, you got anything else to say before we wrap this up?
No, I think we got it, man.
All right. You guys have been listening to Nerd Bourbon. If you had a good time listening to me stroke this Nintendo boner, listening to Todd talk about Assassin's Creed, listening to us bitch about Destiny, why don't you go ahead and throw us a follow or a sub on whatever service you're listening to us on? And why not? If there's a service we aren't currently on that you want us on, let me know so we can make that happen for you. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/nerdbourbon, and we are at nerdbourbon on Twitter. Beyond that, the best and only way for us to grow is for you to tell your friends, as I say each and every week. Thank you guys so much for listening. Get fucking dunked on. Bye.
See ya. People like just not really listening. They're not really, their head's not in the game. Lord knows we had people with their head not in the game.
Oh shit. Oh no, hang on a second. Hang on. We're gonna have to... Fuck.
What
Fuck. I'm not recording off of my Blue Yeti right now.
What?
Oh, shit. Hang on. I think we're gonna have to redo some of this shit. Oh god. I'm just gonna interject okay, hang on. I'm saving. Still export this and send it to me.
Okay.